Hey guys, this is going to be a fast and kind of wonky what we're reading for this week. So first I'll just rip right through the graphic novels, the comics I've been reading. This is the third volume of Jack of Fables. It's called The Bad Prince. I'm really hating this comic. I'm only reading it because I was told I needed to really understand what's going on before I continue reading Fables. So I gave this 1 star. I didn't like it. Deadly Class. This is the third volume. This is the most recently published volume. I'm filming this like super early in the morning. Sorry, my light is kind of crazy. But anyway, this is the most recently published volume. I'm not really sure where they're going with this, but I am still enjoying it. So I'll keep my eyes out for when the next volume gets published. This is book 7 of The Walking Dead. Things are getting so crazy in this comic. I don't know if I'm past where they are in the show. I don't think I am because certain people have not died. But something really crazy just happened to Carl, and I think that if it happened like at the very end, like a cliffhanger, I think that if Carl is not dead in the next book, then I'm just out because it's so unrealistic. Okay, and then here is the real reason why I haven't been doing these videos. This is Heir of Fire. This is actually the third Throne of Glass novel. So remember I DNF'd the collection of novellas for Throne of Glass because I hated it and it was so stupid and I thought Selena was an idiot and I hated her too. So I DNF'd that, but my husband loved this series, so I picked up the first book in this series, A Throne of Glass, anyway, and I ended up really liking it. So then I read the second one, which was Crown of Midnight, and then this is the third one, Heir of Fire. I finished this. And then I read Queen of Shadows. My library was taking so long to get it because this was right before Christmas and New Year and everything, so my library was taking so long to get it that I read Queen of Shadows on my Kindle and I finished that. Guys, I'm all caught up on this series. But I fell in love with this to my embarrassment and I'm all caught up. I really enjoyed it. I think I gave all of these 5 stars, maybe not the first one. I think I gave most of them 5 stars. I just loved these. They were fluffy, easy reads, but at the same time, the world building here is just amazing. And a lot of it was borrowed, I feel, from Lord of the Rings. I mean, I know most fantasy is built on Lord of the Rings, but this borrows pretty heavily from Lord of the Rings. But it expands it and it makes it more youthful. Not that Lord of the Rings can be improved, but it was expanded on and given a young adult twist, which I really enjoyed. And then here's the next thing that happened. At the same time that I was waiting for Heir of Fire from my library, I read Cinder, which is the first book in the Lunar Chronicles series, which I think is only 4 books. I think the 4th book, I think it's done. So I read Cinder and then I was like, wait, these are too similar because Cinder and the Lunar Chronicles are retelling of the story of Cinderella, among others. And actually, A Throne of Glass is based loosely on Cinderella. So I was just like, whoa, hold the phone. I gotta stop. I cannot read these simultaneously. I will get so confused. Because while one is like future dystopia fantasy world, one is future dystopia real world, sort of. So it was just too much. And I had to put this aside. And now I'm reading Scarlet, which is the second book in the Lunar Chronicles. And I'm going to try to just read the series straight through. I'll read Scarlet. Cress is the third book, is waiting for me at the library. And I'm in line for Winter, which was just published a couple months ago. and is the final book, I believe, in the Lunar Chronicles. I feel like I may have talked about this in a previous video, but just in case I didn't, Cinder and the Lunar Chronicles is a retelling of Cinderella, like I said, but it's based in future dystopian Japan, I want to say. I don't know, it's in Asia, and it's just really cool. There's all sorts of, the spacey things that we were promised as children. There's spaceships and there's cyborgs, and it's just cool. And there's a race of people that I think they splintered off from people on Earth, and they went to live on the moon, and they're called the Lunars. They've evolved, and they have certain special abilities and stuff. So this is basically a series about, roughly, the Lunars trying to take over and rule Earth as well as the moon. So anyway, I'm really enjoying this. I thought it was just so cool. I don't even like sci-fi. I don't like sci-fi, but I really like this. And this, I think, definitely falls under sci-fi more so than fantasy itself. So yeah, that's why I have no to be read. I'm going to the library today, and I will pick up Cress, but for right now, I'm really just going to try to power through this whole series and just knock it out, because I get really lost when I read a series in pieces. Like, if I read this book, because you guys know how fast I read, so if I read this book and then I had to wait a week for my library to get the next book in, you guys know that's probably 2 novels and like 3 graphic novels in between installments of a series for me, so that's a lot. So I'm trying to just get all these books all at once, and I'll just read it really fast, maybe. Hey YouTube, I said that I would update with my TBR after I went to the library this week, so this is what this is coming to you from the future. This is Wraith by Joe Hill. This is the graphic novel based on Nosferatu, which I have already read, so this was recommended to me by a dear friend. So I really trust in his recommendation, so I'm sure that I'm going to love this. So yeah, this looks really good. Anyway, so I've already read the book. I'm looking forward to that. This is Sorcerer to the Crown by Zen Cho. This falls under, it's something, I can't remember what item it is on my Read Harder challenge, but that's what this is for. I think it might be, no, I can't remember. I'm not even going to try. Anyway, this is for my Read Harder challenge. I also have The House of Mirth by Edith Wharton. I'm actually listening to this on an audiobook right now. It's been on my TBR for like years, seriously years. So I'm listening to it on audiobook right now. Sorry, whoa. And I sometimes like to follow along, so I went ahead and picked up the book from my library. The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood. This is also for my Read Harder challenge. This was published in 1985, and I was born in the 80s, so this is my book from the decade I was born. And then I have Cress from the Lunar Chronicles by Marissa Meyer. This is the 3rd book in the Lunar Chronicles. I'm still reading Scarlet, which is the 2nd one, and I haven't even read the blurb for Cress yet because I don't want to spoil anything for myself, but I have this ready and waiting to go. So that's it, guys. That's my TBR for, this is probably going to take me a couple weeks, so. But anyway, this is my library haul. Have a good weekend, YouTube. Bye-bye.